Okay, so practicing matching up some graphs. So basically this is an exponential. Hopefully we know that by now. The y-intercept is 5. Okay, and so with exponentials, this coefficient out in front is your y-intercept. So we're down to A and C just by knowing what the y-intercept is. Okay, now if we look at the pattern, if we look at these y values, we go from 5 to 10 to 20. What is that pattern? We are multiplying by 2. We are multiplying by 2. 5 to 10 to 20. And so that is my growth factor. So the correct answer is A. How many people got that? Okay, a few more than yesterday. We're making progress. Nice. Also, y'all, if you know this is growing, you can knock out these two. I'm just saying there's a few ways to knock out some of these answer choices. Okay? All right. Here. Next week, you're going to be doing some stuff in advisory where you've got to write your own line. Like the answer choices aren't given to you, but you should be fine with it because we've done enough of these. Notice that all of these forms are y equals mx plus b. And so I need my y-intercept, and my y-intercept is right here. It's 3. Okay, so y-intercept 3. Notice all of these have a y-intercept of 3, so that's no help. We're going to have to do the slope. Okay, so I'm just going to pick me another good point, and it looks like there's one right there. What's a good point? One where the line crosses exactly through the corner of the box. Okay, so I'm going to go down 2 and right 1. So for my slope, down 2, right 1. Down is in a negative direction, so my slope is negative 2. So the correct answer is B, negative 2x plus 3. How many people got that? Okay, not quite as many. Okie dokie. Had to find the slope there, folks. All right. You're given two functions, and they're wanting you to evaluate some of this. So we need to evaluate g of 4 and subtract that from f of 3. So g of 4. Here's my g. What does it sound like? 3 blank plus 1. 3 blank plus 1. What do I plug in the blank? A 4. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So the value of g of 4 is 13. And just to be technical, that means that the x is 4 and the y is 13 on the graph. Okay, f of 3. F of 3 we need to evaluate. Okay, well here's my f. What does it sound like? 4 blank squared minus 2 blank plus 5. 4 blank squared minus 2 blanks. 3. Okay, I'm going to show y'all how to do this by hand. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 2 times 3 is 6, and then tack on the 5. 36 minus 6 is 30, plus 5 is 35. So the value of f of 3 is 35, and they want us to subtract. So all I did was bring down the minus sign. Okay, so when I subtract, is it 22? Yeah. Negative 22. Notice the big number's negative. Questions on that? Okie dokie. 5 times f of 2. So basically what we're going to do is evaluate f of 2, then multiply by 5. Okay? So f of 2. Here's my f. It sounds like 4 blank squared minus 2 blank plus 5. 4 blank squared minus 2 blank plus 5. And I'm evaluating it where x is 2, so I'm going to plug 2 in. I'm going to do this by hand. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4. And then plus 5. Believe we get 17 there. Okay, now that's not the answer. The reason why that's not the answer is, what are we supposed to do after we evaluate? We're supposed to multiply by 5. So 17 times 5 is 85. The correct answer there was 85. I'm still seeing people doing a lot of writing on this side. So are we still not, should I throw some of this in your Delta Math today? I'm just concerned. I'm seeing a lot of writing when I get to this spot. And can we do it? Can we not? No answer. Okay. All right. G of x equals -5. This is not an x. It is a y. It goes on the other side of the equal sign. Okay. So here's g of x. It's 3x plus 1. So we're going to do 3x plus 1 equals -5. We're going to put the y on the other side of the equal sign. We're going to subtract 1 on both sides. We get 3x equals -6. We divide by 3, and we find out x is -2. Question on that? Okay. Brought up a little something new that we did yesterday when we were converting forms. It says write an equation in slope-intercept form. We did this yesterday on whiteboards, and it's in your notes, okay? You can go back and watch the video from yesterday. It's been posted, okay? So the form since we are given a point and the slope, we have to start with point-slope form. We don't have a choice, because point-slope form is where I can plug these numbers in. What we talked about is when we're plugging in the ordered pair, we're using the opposite signs. Why are we using the opposite signs? Because the formula has minus signs in it. So we're using the opposite signs. So the y-coordinate is -7. So when I go to plug it in, it's not going to be y minus 7. It's going to be y plus 7. M stands for the slope. They tell us the slope is 5. X-coordinate is a positive 3, so when I plug it in, it would be x minus 3. Okay? All right. We're going to distribute, and we get 5x minus 15. I'm going to bring down the left-hand side. And now we're going to subtract 7 on both sides. And we get y equals 5x minus 22 when I combine. So notice we started out in point-slope form and then converted to slope-intercept form. These represent the same line. This is in point-slope form. That's in slope-intercept form. Question? Okay, if you need to look back at this, folks, the video is going to be posted today. Okay, y'all really should be taking advantage of these videos. I don't know of any other teacher in the building that's literally videotaping her class every day. Okie dokie? Good? Okay. Okay. So, for the Delta Math today, first thing you've got is where you're matching graphs to equations. Because equations is a new thing that we introduced last week. Okay, these are all in standard form. Let's quit the shuffling. I'm going to wait a minute. And the talking. Okay, so these are in standard form. Well, y'all, the easiest way to do the ones in standard form is to just quickly check your x and y intercepts. So, for instance, let's just take this one. If I cover up here and I divide by -3, what is my x-intercept for this equation?
-4.
Okay, notice that's not the x-intercept for this line. So I know that can't be it. Okay, if I cover up here, what's my x-intercept? Come on, folks. It's 12. Notice, that's not my x-intercept. My x-intercept is 4. Okay, do you see I'm doing that? Okay, so I get to here. I'm just going to cover up right there. My y-intercept is what? -2 when I divide. Well, that's not my y-intercept. Okay? So this is the correct answer, and you can check it. If I cover up and divide, my y-intercept here is 2. If I cover up and divide, my x-intercept here is 4. Okay? No work required there. Y'all good?
Yes.
Okay. This is going to require you to show work. So I'm writing that. Show work. You're going to turn it in. You're turning this section in. I think I've got 5 of them. They're individual problems because I wanted to make them kind of easy on you. Okay? So this is like from the warm-up. Use point-slope form to write your equation. And then we're going to put it in slope-intercept form. So my y is 11. So it would be y minus 11. Opposite sign there. Equals slope of 3/2. Parentheses. My x-coordinate is 12, so it would be x minus 12. Some of y'all need to be writing this down. Okay. So here it is in point-slope form, and we're going to convert it to slope-intercept. So I'm going to distribute. So 3/2 times x is 3/2 x. Okay, I'm going to distribute here. Now, folks, you can do this in your head. I prefer it. But I'm going to show you both ways. Okay, in your head, notice 12 is on top. You can do 12 times 3, which is 36, and then divide by 2, which is 18. Another way to do it, 12 is on top. What's 12 divided by 2? What's 6 times 3?
18.
Okay, trying to show y'all how to do this without a calculator in case it's calculator inactive. Okay, with a calculator. With a calculator, you would do 3 divided by 2. That's what 3/2 is, y'all. Times -12. There's -18. Okay. All right, let's bring down the left side. And I have one last step. What is it?
Put the 11 on the other side.
Well, we don't want to put it.
Well, like, yeah.
Let's add 11 to both sides. Okay? So we have y equals 3/2 x, and then when I combine here, minus 7. And that's what you would put in the blank. And this is where you got to show your work. We good? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Put the following equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. We did this yesterday on whiteboards and in your notes. Basically, you're solving for y. You're solving for y. Okay, now make sure you're careful. Notice this is not the x here. The x is right here. So I need to move my x. Remember, I'm solving for y, which means I want y to stay put, and I want to move everything away from it. How am I going to move the 6x? I'm going to add 6x to both sides. Y'all need to be doing this with me. You're going to have to show work. This is another one to show work. Okay, this is another one you got to show work. Okay, so we're adding 6x to both sides. Okay, so I'm going to bring down my 2y. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. I cannot combine these because they're not alike. So I'm going to write my 6x plus 10. Notice these have to have a sign in between them. And since 10 is positive, it's plus 10. What's my last step?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. And remember, I've got to do it to all the terms on both sides. So now I have y equals. You have to simplify your fractions here, y'all. Or, you know, delta mass going to count them wrong. So that's 3x plus 5. And this is what you would type in. Okay. Okay, I brought this back because now we have equations and I need for you to be able to take a look at this, and also it may require you to convert forms. Y'all, this is where you're comparing. Notice, they're giving you two things. They're giving you an equation and a graph. Now, we did these with tables and graphs before we introduced equations. Now that we've got equations, we got equations and graphs. Okay, notice, it's going to say something about either the y-intercept or the slope. Okay, it's talking about y-intercept. Okay, well here, y'all, I can't find my y-intercept. But if I put it in this form, I can. If I put it in this form, I can. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for y here. I'm going to distribute, and I get negative 1/2 x. I'm going to distribute to the negative 8. And again, 8's on top, 2's on the bottom. What's 8 divided by 2?
Positive 4.
4, and then negative times negative is positive. That's exactly right. I'm going to bring down my left-hand side. I've got one step to take. What is it? Subtract 1 on both sides. Okay. And notice, y-intercept is now right there. Y-intercept here, pull it right off the graph. So my y-intercept here is 1. My y-intercept here is 3, and it's going to be one of those drop-down boxes, like where you say something about the y-intercept for A is 3, the y-intercept for B is 1, and then you say something like, you know, the y-intercept for A is larger than the one for B. Okay? If they ask for slope, notice slope's already here, y'all. You can pull the slope right out. Okay? So that's it. And we need to really work on this. Let's show our work on those. So let's get out some paper, put your name on it. I'm going to walk around and see if I can help some folk. But first thing I'm going to ask you to do is come up with this piece of paper, though, if you call me over, okay?